let's introduce the wonderful, infamous Mr. Terence Wallen. Let's hear a whoop whoop. Good. We're lively. Terence, you look just like the festive season, full of light. How are we?
I'm good, thank you, man. And listen, thanks for those that have already joined in. Thanks for those to come. Thanks, Laura. It's a pleasure having you here as well, man. It's good. Thank you
so much.
I look forward to today. I look forward to what comes of today and the crazy questions I know you're probably going to ask me, but we're ready.
Right, well, we're ready to start. I'm good to go. Now, in the spirit of us with our African, Caribbean and African ancestry, I would just like us to hold our hands out, giving thanks. If we have our hands out open, so just open your hand, right, the other way, Terence, put the back of your hand to your desk, like we're opening to prayer. So we're giving thanks for our lives. We're giving thanks to the presence of our ancestors. We're giving thanks to family and friends. And I'd like to take this opportunity to honor Mrs. Gloria Wallen. I choose not to say the late. I choose to say the great, because the spirit of her is definitely with us today. I would also like to acknowledge Mr. Stead Wallen, your older brother, whom I know is very dear to you and has made a tremendous, poignant direction to you in your life. So can we give thanks? And in our traditional way, if you'd like to join me, we say Ashe.
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 We give thanks.
Ashe.
Thank you for joining me in that short prayer. So I'm going to go straight into it, Terence, my dear. I'm hoping it's going to be organic, fun, loving, and we're just going to get to it. So I'm going to ask you very typical question, but a very important question. I'm going to ask you about your first book. Your first book, Now I Am Famous, is your autobiography. So I'd like to know, you're Birmingham bred, West Midlands man, you're the everyday man that is now famous. Tell me what made you want to write that book.
Oh, well, I think initially when I wrote Now, I always wanted to write my own book, and I always felt like I had enough to talk about anyway. And I also thought that I always had enough to share, because my journey has always been kind of a wide journey, and it's encompassed a lot of things, a lot of people, a lot of traveling. So I always knew that the journey needs to be documented, and so I just decided to put it, put pen to paper, so to speak. But also part of that was that I'd also been slightly infamous for other reasons. So I had people writing about me. Now I turned the table and started writing about myself. So in my early days, about 20 odd years ago to be exact, I had people writing about me and not so great stuff. However, now I write about myself, which are the truth. You see, the truth.
Well, it's good.
And I mustn't forget, the publishing company come with the right figures. So
brilliant.
Always an incentive.
You see, what I've noticed now, especially on social media, people are so quick to talk about love, light, abundance, and so forth. So I can hear quite clearly in the 3 books that you've wrote that you've got an essence there of universal principles, which I'm sure will come out throughout this interview. What I would like to ask you about your first book, you've already said that things were wrote about you that were actually, not so pleasant. How did that affect your heart and your feelings?
So my heart's always been in a good place. Obviously, feelings get tampered with, but I've always had a good heart, because I've always had good-hearted people around me, which always kept my heart in place. So my heart never faltered in terms of my heart. Feelings change, yes, feelings up and down, but it wasn't enough to distract me, because like for every knock, that I had, I was doing another 10 great things. So it didn't matter. So for every one person that may throw a stone, I'd have enough stone to build another 10 people. So it didn't really make that much of a difference to me in terms of me as a person. So it is what it is, isn't it? And I am who I am.
Good. So would you say then it's part of your inbuilt personality not to hold grudges?
Listen, yeah, definitely. I don't hold grudges. Like, if I don't like it, I just don't like it. I'm not holding a grudge, I just don't like it. Keep it moving. But because I have that, there's that many people that I love, and I have that many people around me that love me. So I don't have the energy to hold grudges. It's literally a waste of energy to hold grudges anyway, in general. So I don't do it. I just keep it moving, man. Me.
Good. I understand that wave of thought, actually. So my first question, or second, I should say. So in your first book, you do write a lot about the younger you 20 years ago. Let's just say some people would call it checkered. Some people would call it colourful. You know, choose the phrases you would. But what I would like to know, and I think the rest of the audience who haven't read the book, can you tell us really about a really low point that you refer to in the book where it's like, oh my God, was that me?
Low point. Well, there's a chapter in the book called My Dark Days. So that would be a combination of different low points in my journey. So there's quite a few in terms of low points. So one of the low points in my life in general was I'm only going to touch on this very, very briefly. My lawyers will be on the case. So listen, my very low point was probably the Jamelia days. And where I messed up big times and the things I did wrong, but I was quick enough to be in a position to rectify myself and seek forgiveness and move on. And that was a low point. You know, that was a low point for me. Outside of that, my other low points would have been has only been losing my brother Stead up until losing my mom. So I was quite fortunate to have a very, very colourful life. I was colour in terms of success, getting stuff done, having great people around me, building some great people, and, you know, traveling the world. You know, having actually a fantastic time in life. And then these few things just came and knocked it up. I can hear someone's mic. Someone move back their mic, or mute, please, I should say. Someone mute their mic. Yeah, I can just get some feedback. That's better, thank you.
Excuse me one moment, I do apologise. I just need to, I've got that classic festive cold, do apologise.
So happens to the best of us. Try ginger.
Yeah, I got slight sniffles. You never tend to sniffle until you're talking, do you? But in a spirit of authenticity, I've got to wipe my nose, mate.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to ask you then, what did you actually learn from that low point? Because it's, you know, you have a public image, you have a public persona, and it's very clear that you're open with that. So knowing that you're on a journey, at that time, you weren't where you are now. So what would you say your lesson was with the Jamelia issue, so to speak?
Okay, just perseverance and just see through it for what it is. You know, I understood media because I spent years working at the BBC, so I understood media and what media does. But I also really understood where I had faltered. So I think that journey for me was recognizing my own faults, looking into myself and seeing where I had messed up. It wasn't about anything she had done or my environment or how I was raised as a child, nothing like that. It was simply recognizing my own flaws, working on myself, and just as the years go on, building myself into a better person and finding myself. So I learned to find me during that whole process. I found myself.
Good. So at what age, could you share with us, at what age was your turning point then? When did you begin that time, that moment? When did the moment come? What age were you when you thought, do you know what, it's time to stop looking outward, it's here?
So my turning point started a very, very long time ago, you know, like probably from teenage days, you know, really. Like, wow. I decided that I was not going to be one of the middle guy. I wasn't going to be the average guy. I wasn't going to be like everybody else I knew, so to speak. And I was always going to be different. So even from school, I would have stood out, deciding to, you know, to work from a very young age, deciding to build my own stuff from a very young age. So from the very beginning, I knew my worth and I knew that I had something to offer. And I had things to offer my community, my family, and then extended it. I had things to offer the world. I knew I could bring about some change and change people's lives. So from as a youth, really, you know what I mean? And people saw stuff in me that I probably didn't see myself. Like, I'd say that probably when I was like 6, 7, my brother Steady would have seen something special in me, and to embrace me as a brother the way he did and raise me like his own son. So Steady would have seen in me what probably I didn't recognize to see myself. I have a cousin Sydney. He would have seen in me what I never saw in myself as well, and given me direction as a youth, growing up. My mum would have seen in me. So there's people in my life that would have seen in me that I didn't see in myself. So I'd say my opening would happen way from me. I'm going back as far as saying from probably about 6, 7, from them ages. And and part of that is to tell you that the journey doesn't happen overnight either. You know, you don't get to where you want to get overnight. You know, it takes work. It takes a lot of work. And here I am years on, and I'm still working on me. So this ain't even the final version of me yet. This is just part and parcel of where I am.
Are we now seeing the work in progress?
Yeah, it's always going to be a work in progress. I'm never there yet. I'm in a good place, don't get me wrong, but it's just still a work in progress.
Well,
but it's a better version of me than yesterday. So, yeah.
Excellent. I can actually see it in your face. You've got a very vibrant look about you. What I'd like to ask, on the journey of self-development, it's also a journey of self-discovery. So there's some point when we're mature enough and use our emotional intelligence to critique ourselves. When were you able to look at yourself and be able to say, do you know what, I was quite bleep that day. I could have done better. When were you able to really do that openly and honestly from your heart?
I always do it, you know, Laura. I swear to anyone who knows me always knows, you know, I do take a like it's not before, like people always see the end result. Like people see the end result because, how can I put it? Because I'm the face of it. So I'm the show guy. So people see the end result. But to get to this point, I have to take a lot of critiques. I have to get told, and I have to learn to listen. And I do that. You always remember, you know, I was always taught as a child that the words listen and silent are the same letters in them. So I had to learn to listen, and being that I get here by being able to say, I messed up there, or being told I messed up there. Listen, I have these people around me that constantly get on my tits. However, it gets me to where I am today. So I take criticism all the time. Like, and the thing is, people that criticize me, it's always constructive. It's never, well, I say to my face, people that criticize me in my space, it's always constructive. It's always for the better me. It's never ever to put me down. People that chat me, I might want to criticize me differently. Who cares? But people that in my team that say to me, you might have messed up there, or changed that, or that don't look right, blah, blah, blah. You know, they're welcome. Their criticism's fully welcome. So I take it and I see it in myself, and I change whatever needs to be changed.
It's excellent to hear that, is because it's not really often that you hear from people that they can be so open about being critiqued and knowing that criticism is actually for your benefit rather than a damage. So going to the next question, in the essence of your first book, Now I'm Famous, I would like to ask you, can you share with us, for those who haven't read it yet, and I've got to say, you've got to read it. I can't stress it enough. You've got to read it. But for those of you that haven't read it, I'm trying to tease you in. Tell us, Terence, about a really great time, a high point in your life where you're just floating on clouds. Share it with us.
Okay, a high point in the book. High points. Oh, I'm gonna say. Let me give a couple. I got a couple of high points, and that's because I got a couple of kids. So I remember. Let me give you a few points. I remember having my son Keon, specifically. Well, so my son Jamal. I remember having Jamal, and Jamal was always stuck very, very close to me. So that was a high point. He's my first boy child. And, you know, every man wants a boy child. So, you know, my first son, I remember that as a high point. I also remember having my son Keon. When Keon was born, literally in the birthing room. I call it birthing room, yeah?
Yeah.
In delivery suite, yeah. In labor, in the delivery suite, birthing room. In the delivery suite, when I had Keon, I remember when Simone gave birth to Keon, I like literally jumped there to the nurses and said, like, let me have him. And said, yeah, so who's going to cut the umbilical cord? And I didn't give Simon a chance to talk. I literally like, you go on, all the guests. I just literally said, I'll cut his cord. I remember cutting Keon's cord. And when I cut his cord, all the blood just spurted. I had this woolly beige jumper and the blood just spurted like up my face here. And my first thought was that this is going to be like, you know, you think things happen for a reason. Like, it's already my biological blood anyway. It's all my biological blood. But I thought, hey, like the blood on my face just sent a whole message to me like, yo, this is my boy. You know what I mean? And that's like I always remember that moment. And look at Keon right now. Keon is like everything for his dad. Everything. In look, in mannerism, in character. So that blood spillage was surely worth it. So yeah, that was one of the highlights. I never forget that moment. You know, I never forget the moment, like the birth of all my kids as well. That's always a turning point for me. And I've always got, every time I had a child, in terms of success, got greater and greater and greater. They're my blessings.
Excellent. So what I'd like to ask you then, you practically answered it, but I'm going to say to you, if you were to speak to a stranger, somebody you've never met before, and they said to you, what lesson did you learn observing Keon's birth? How would you describe it?
I learned that how beautiful the world is, like to focus on our blessings and not on to focus on the things we have rather than the things we don't have. So instead of focusing at that moment, I've damaged my top or got blood on my face, you switch the focus quickly into how beautiful that as an act is. So in life itself, instead of focusing on the things that don't work, focus on the things that do work. Instead of focusing on the things that we don't have, focus on the things that we do have. So instead of putting all the energy into, I want, put some of that energy or more of the energy into, I have.
Good. I like the answer. I'm going to progress on to my second answer.
You're going to like them all. You're going to like all my answers.
Good. I said it's got to be an evening of enjoyment, love, kindness, all that good energy. So what I'm going to ask you then, you do make it very clear in your first book that you were a teenage dad. So I'm going to say to you with that must have come with, you know, I'm African Caribbean myself, and I can hear the Lord have mercy when you told your parents about this. So how was it? Actually, tell us how that moment felt.
Which one?
Having to say, I'm going to be a dad.
Listen, back in them days, my eldest child is 31. So back in them days, your parents see it in your eye. You didn't have to tell them. They just knew your movements. Like, you know, when you say to your mom, I remember saying to mom, you know, Mom, Michelle's pregnant, you know. And, you know, your mom like, me know, a long time, me know, you think me never see, you think me no know. Thinking, you know, like, I've seen Michelle a handful of times. But, you know, your parents know, But it's always a joy to know that you're going to bring a child into this world. Always a joy. So, yeah, you know, it's good times making them and good times having them.
Your facial expression and your whole body language, it's like a very happy memory. And it's almost like a naughty schoolboy memory look on your face. So do you think, looking at your past and looking at the fact that I'm going to use the term we used to use then, is a proper gyalis. You used to like to smile those pearly whites at the women, and you were infamous when it came to the ladies. Would you say that experience of, you know, loving the women and being a young father has shaped you to become who you are today?
Yeah, listen, loving women in general and just like loving people, like it's not even just women, you know, I love people. So I love males, I love females, I love people in general. So that's just a natural thing for me. Like, so it wasn't just the fact that, you know, in terms of women, and that just came as part and parcel of, you know, I've been a natural part and parcel of this. Someone needs to mute their mic. Is that done? Yeah. Okay. Shall I carry on?
Yes, please.
Oh yeah. So in terms of I just love people in general. So it didn't make any difference to me whether, you know, in terms of females, like obviously I was kind of a popular guy, so females come with being kind of popular, but yeah, it shaped me, man. And being a young dad definitely shaped me. Obviously, being a young dad shaped me more than being, as you termed the gallis back in the day, or womanizer, or whatever it was. Being a father shaped me by far much more, learnt by far much more. You know, it was quite repetitive when you're young and you have multiple women. It's kind of a repetitive story. You know, you meet, you date, you carry on, move on, meet, you date, you carry on, this kind of. But being a father, like, every day is a new day, everything's a new journey, every experience is a new experience. So definitely learned by far more being a father than you ever would by having multiple women anyway.
That's great. Thank you for answering that. So keeping in line with the first book just for a few more moments, I'm going to say to you, when I'm reading about you, I can clearly hear that you've got a very special relationship with your eldest child when you became a teen dad. So your eldest daughter, Shalika, would you like to, reading it, what I'm hearing from it, there's definitely a special bond, possibly because she's your first, possibly because she's a girl. Do you believe that unconsciously she has continuously helped you to shape who you have become?
Listen, my relationship with my daughter Shalika is an extension of my relationship with her mother Michelle. So had Shalika not seen and been part and parcel of the journey, watching how her mother and I, even though we're not together as a couple, but had Shalika not seen how beautiful relationships grow, how beautiful friendships grow, our soulmates grow, and then she would have manifested herself into that kind of life, into that very same energy. So my relationship with Shalika is literally a product of my relationship with Michelle. Obviously, as Shalika's grown up, everyone knows we are so much alike. A smile, a personality, a character, a drive, everything about Shalika is very much me. I always say it to her all the time, and I encourage everyone to keep telling her as well. She's everything like her dad. She doesn't care as much for her mom than she does for me. I'm better anyway than her mom. Nah, joke. Listen, but Shalika, man, the relationship is beautiful. And not to say once a man, twice a child, it's very much that relationship. So as a grown man now, like, Shalika very much looks after me.
That's beautiful.
And take care of my everything. Like what you see here as well, the product here, books, marketing, business, company, my finances, my account, everything. Very much Shalika does everything behind the scenes, and I just show up.
Good. I'm very happy you shared that with us, because I'm a daddy's girl myself, so I do understand that it's a unique bond, and it's something every girl needs. No matter how old we are, we will always be our daddy's girl.
We need that. We need that. I said I need it, yeah.
We do. Coming on to my next question. You write about being a father to several children with several different women. How on earth do you manage those dynamics, Terry? Please enlighten us.
I've got it boxed off, Laura. I'm not going to lie. I'm one of them fortunate guys. Like, I don't have the baby mother dramas. I don't have it. All my baby mothers are good women anyway. They're good women before they met me, and they're good women after me. So I don't have it. I don't have those issues. Like, I don't have challenging baby mothers like that, and the relationships with them have always been beautiful. So once the relationship had ended, our friendship continued to grow. Our friendships continued. We're very much soulmates. I'm very, very close. You know, like, I literally worship the ground, because I worship my mom. So I literally worship the ground that my kids' mums walk on. I may not have the opportunity to say it to them every day, but they know. You know, it's one thing, like me as the father of their child, because I've only got one child with each baby mother. Me as the father of the child is full on love and respect and rate them. So yeah, man. The dynamics is good. There's no issue. Like, I'm sure enough of them literally want to get rid of me. Like, and that's no lie. But I'm simply not going nowhere. Can't get rid of me.
That's beautiful to hear. if you were to meet, as you've become quite an established man, you've wrote 3 excellent books, and I think they're raving. I've got to say my favorite one is the 365 days, because I love the quotes. We'll come to that shortly. However, I do want to ask you, if you were to meet a man in your position, several children, different women, and he was not managing it, what advice could you give him?
Wonderful. Nah, I'd say like stick to it, man. Stick to it. Life, once you surround yourself with the right people and you create your own energy bubble, life simply becomes easier. And I think in life, like, things don't have to be perfect. Like, don't have to be perfect. But I think once you're in the right space and your life is balanced, you're more prone to take risks, because you know that if for any reason you fall or falter, you've got the right people around you to soften any of those blows that come. So I don't mind taking risks in life in general, because I always feel like I always feel and know that I'm always got the right people around me. So for anybody who ever falls in this position, it is what it happened, it is what it is. You can't kind of erase some of the stuff that's already happened, because it done happen already. So you just got to live for today and make it work moving forward. But definitely I'd say your people around you and your energies around you, by far more important than anything else, by far.
Thank you for that. So keeping in line with the concept of that element that you've divulged in the book, I would like to ask you, have you ever felt like you've done any of the women that you've had children with a disservice by not marrying them?
Jesus Christ. Can I just refer to my lawyer for one quick second? Yeah, just almost answer the question. So, no, I don't think I did them a disservice by not marrying them. I really don't. Honestly, I don't. I think marriage in terms of a tradition and religion, it happens. I just simply never got married, but it didn't take away my love for them, my respect for them, and my current position for them. Yeah, I suppose it would have been nice to eat extra cake, but no, I don't feel like I did them a disservice. Personally, I don't. They may feel like I did by not marrying them, but me personally, I don't feel like I did. Next.
Next question. Thank you for answering. I had to ask.
That's what you like.
Where are we? Right, I would like to know, if one of your younger daughters brought home the younger Terence, what would your advice be?
Yeah.
The younger Terence.
The younger me. Yeah, it's still time to grow. Like, it's not for me to judge, because I'd been there. So, like, bring on who you like, bring on who suits you in it. It's not like, yeah, bring on who suits you, man. It's not even about trying to bring on someone else like your dad, because that's not going to happen. There is no two of me. However, even if someone's not perfect, there is time for them to grow. It took me time for me to grow, and it'll always take everybody time to grow. So I don't have any issue. Bring them who the hell you like. Just bring somebody home. Don't be lonely.
It's about your daughters and your sons, their happiness, isn't it? Happiness really is the key.
Exactly.
For anybody that wants to know any more about that autobiography, you won't be getting any more out of me. Please buy the book. Terence, can you flash it across the screen again? Right, so that brings me nicely into book number 2. This is my absolute utter favorite. I love it. I can't say how much I love this book. Flash it across the screen. We're doing a Blue Peter here. This is the one he made earlier. Right then, so book number 2, 360 Days of Truth. Where did the essence to write such motivational quotes derive from?
365 days of the truth, literally, is, you got to say 365 days of the year. So my whole year, I started to, so this book came out just after my brother Stead died. So I used writing quotes and just expressing myself, however I felt, as a form of therapy. I was already in counseling, I was already in therapy anyway, but as to balance out therapy itself, if anyone understands it, I have to have my own therapy. So it's like saying, we don't allow the school to educate our children. so we also educate our children at home to get that balance right. I don't know why I'm looking at you. To educate, because this is my audience. So but you are frizzy. Nah, I was joking. So to get that balance right, so I use quotes every day on my WhatsApp status, and I was noticing just writing how I felt on the day, blah blah blah, and so on and so on. And I just decided to put it into a book and literally write how I felt that day, or you reading motivational quotes or words of affirmation every single day to lift my day. And I literally needed that lift every single day to get through a very, very, very dark period. And the dark period didn't last. So this is 365 days. So I literally concised it down into 1 year of my life. But I was doing this for about 5-6 years straight, just writing stuff down and expressing myself that way. So that's how it came about, and then decided to turn it into a book.
Excellent. Right, so 360 Days of Truth. It's an excellent starter.
Get the title right.
Wednesday. Sorry.
Get the title right. It's 365 Days of the Truth.
Of Truth. And I've got it right here in front of me.
Do you want to keep this gig or not?
As it's an excellent starter to anyone's day, please can you tell us why the start of the day is so paramount to us all?
Remember, like growing up, everybody say, breakfast is the most important first thing in the day, but it really isn't, because in order to get to breakfast, you've got to wake up and you've got to have that good feeling within yourself before you even start eating. I personally feel so. As you open your eyes, it's a blessing. That's the first thing. So you got to give thanks for being alive. You got to feel thanks for your blessing that you have made it today, because somebody didn't. So that's the first start. This is way before breakfast. So it's really important to have that lift before you start your day. Really important to feel good about yourself. And, if you ever had low days or low times, these like positive affirmations work a treat, But you got to believe in them. You got to believe in yourself. You got to believe. You generally got to believe.
Good. So what I'm hearing really is reading your affirmations is food for the soul.
Yeah. Or your own. You don't have to read mine, as long as you got your own, like, as long as you can wake up, and even if it's, because these are like you can get up and just say, I am great, I am blessed, I am grateful, I am loved, like whatever works for you, but make sure you wake up when you open your eyes and realize I am blessed to be alive. Make sure you show gratitude and make sure you recognize where you are.
That's beautiful. That is, because thankfulness, gratitude, and grounding is really part of our universal principles about acknowledging that we are at one. So I actually find that book, I find with affirmations, and when I've read yours, one of the greatest things is sometimes I've just opened it randomly.
You have to bring down the iPad.
Sometimes I've just opened it. It doesn't have to be in any order, but it speaks to the day. Have you found that when you're on your spiritual journey and you're looking at reading material that you've had similar experiences?
Yeah, I read a lot, I read a lot of different stuff, and I pick something out of everything. So I pick stuff out of what I've read. I pick stuff out of genuine conversations that I have every day. So, and I speak to someone, and I speak to people every single day, and sometimes they give me some gems and they don't realize that they're giving me the gems, so you've got to have that searching soul for greatness and always seeking greatness. And that's what I do. So with everyone I speak to or come across and, have that experience with, there's always something that I can always take from it. And it could, it could just be a smile. It could be a hug. It could be something stupid. It could be something fun, something serious. It could just simply watching somebody else do great stuff, and that inspires me. So I just picked, there's so many, so many different things that I can extract every day from my normal conversations and that. So I just get them from all angles, to be fair.
Good. So it sounds like, listening to you, that writing affirmations, you gather your strength and you gather inspiration from the world around you, the people around you, or how you're made to feel by the people around you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. The people around me, they're big, you know, like people may think I rant on about this, and I say it all the time. And if you've heard it before, that means you're listening, which is good. I'm telling you, man, the people around me and the people in your life, they're the biggest asset, man, that you'll ever have. Don't watch nothing else in terms of material success and all that business. That comes nowhere near the value in the people in your life. They hold it together, man. They hold me together anyway.
So in keeping with this second book, to create such a wonderful book that I would describe as a spiritual tool or food for the soul, this suggests a powerful spiritual journey. So where do these words of wisdom come from, in the sense of, if you are having a really bad day, how do you create an affirmation then?
As I said, like, you can pick them up literally from anything or from anyone. Like, it has to mean something to you. I was having a conversation with, I don't know who it was with. I was having a conversation with someone, and it was a simple message and normal conversation. And he says to me, what did he say about them? I took your maths. He said, I took your maths. I think I said it to someone. To my madness. That's it. I took your maths and added it to your madness. Now, to me, that's a gem. To him, he was just speaking normally. Yeah. So my conversations with people on a whole, sometimes someone says something and I think, oh, I'm having that and keeping that, and I'll make a note of it, or I'll say to them, send me that again. Send what you just said. I said, I send what you just said on WhatsApp, and then it becomes one of my WhatsApp statuses, and then it'll just be more information, more content for my next book. So I pick it up as I go along. Honestly, I just pick them up as I go along, as well as after I read.
So what we're hearing is that you're...
Sorry.
So what I'm hearing is it's an organic process.
You're about to lose your job. You're about to lose your job. He about to lose his job.
Right, we'll bring forgiveness in here. So very often, Terence, what I've noticed and what I've observed from your journey is that on our soul journeys, sometimes that tends to bring us into the practice of meditation. And I know you spoke of this several times, and it's something that I know you honor and you value. So could you let us know how often you meditate and what do you really gain out of it?
Well, I meditated more once I started therapy. So I started therapy in 2018. So I started to have therapy in 2018 after I lost my brother in 2017. And then I started to meditate. I started to meditate more often then. I have a good friend who used to send me, like, at Annette B, they used to send me sort of listening music and meditation music and prayers. I started a number of, my friend Sasha used to send me meditation stuff as well. So I just started to watch some tutorials on how to meditate. And I started to meditate more, especially around that time. And I just realized it gave me a sense of calming, a sense of peace. And it just made me slow. It made me slow down. And the best way for me to explain it is it kind of made me breathe. It just kind of made me slow down and find myself and become more relaxed and not be like erratic about anything. Like beforehand, like things would happen to me and I'd react differently, and I'd have certain things might mess up my whole day and mess up my thinking. But now I swear it's very, very rare for anything or anyone to take me off my game. And that's because of meditation.
Excellent. I'd also like to ask, because I know with meditation, some people have a favorite place, and this will help us to bring us on to book number 3, actually. So I'm looking at the link and the relationship between affirmations and meditation. You've mentioned inner peace. Where is your favorite place to meditate so you can get that inner peace?
Definitely at home for me. Definitely at home. Like, I spend so much time alone at home, which is really my downtime, my peace, it's my tranquility, it's my solace. So home for me is my solace. That's why enough people not come there. So no people know me yard. I'm for that energy there. So my home is my solace, and I love literally being at home alone, and I find time to meditate at home best. But I can always find peace and a certain level of energy in different places. Like Hansard Park, you know, since my brother's passed away, like I can go to the park and I can sit over there. Just as like a slope, just overlooking the cricket pitch. I think it's like the third or second bench, and you're right. I can literally sit there and lose myself, and just stare and lose myself, and it seems a calming, a very, very calming peace that's there. So they're home. In Jamaica, up in the hills. In Jamaica, absolutely up. Like I get a mad writing rush when I go to Jamaica, but I have to be up in the hills, and I can really find my peace. Find my peace there, big time. So different places carry different energies, and allows me to sort of absorb the energies that I let off.
That's excellent to hear, because it's not very, we live in a very fast-paced environment now. We're out the door, in the car, down the motorway, fast-paced at work. And I think somewhere in society, we've forgotten how to be still, and we've actually forgotten the beauty of nature. So I have to thank you for reminding us all about, you know, Mother Nature does have her calming ways, and that's where you're finding some inspiration to write, which is beautiful to hear.
Thank you.
Right, I'd like to swiftly go on to book number 3, because we're all waiting to hear about this wonderful book. So before we go on to book number 3, 90-Day Truth Planner, can I ask you, as an author, what books are you currently reading?
So books I'm currently reading now. So I'm reading a number of books. 30 Passive Income Ideas by Darryl James. Now that book is kind of the template which I believe everyone should jump on Amazon and grab it. It's called 30 Passive Income Ideas. Now, in this day and age, like, you're never gonna get rich. You're never gonna get like working for someone. Get that idea out of your head from now. You have to be in the ability to be creative and wanting get your own and earn your own, and have that internal power and believe in yourself and go out and grab that so-called bag, so to speak. So the passive income ideas of how to come about that, and it's a simple tool book, and I mean simple. And the good thing about the 30 passive income ideas is that you can read it over and over again. It's not a book that you buy and put on and think you've done it. You can always go back to these 30 ideas, and you can use the same 30 ideas again and just rechange them, reshuffle them, and so on and so on. So that's one book. I'm also reading Happy Sexy Millionaire by Steve Bartlett. Now, Happy Sexy Millionaire is a big book, you know. Like everyone should know Steve Bartlett by now. If you don't, like, get on his podcasts, follow him on LinkedIn and on Twitter. Steve Bartlett is amazing entrepreneur, massive following, massive movement. So he's got a book called Happy Sexy Millionaire, and that's very much, I feel like he's wrote a book about myself, because that's what I am. A happy, sexy millionaire.
The title does sound like something you'd be attracted to. Mr. Terence Wallen.
I'm all of those things. But if I don't know Steve, but if I knew Steve and I'd ask him, can I just like put out the same title again, but I'd put Black, Happy, Sexy Millionaire. But yeah, I'm reading what else? The Rise of Rastafari by Mackinum Sankofa. I'm reading that. Now, I'm a full body here, so I'm not a Rastafarian, but I do follow the principles of Rastafari. I always have. I grew up in the 70s, so this was a great year of Rasta, and the principles of Rastafari have always engulfed me. So I've always loved the whole idea and reading about, and following around, the sick must be nourished, the hungry must be fed, and, community and repatriation. So in terms of The Rise of Rastafari by Mackinnon and Kofa, it's one of the the few books that I can always read over. And, you know, it's knowledgeable. It gives me so much history around slavery, around Rasta, and how Rastas were treated back in the day, and a lot of stuff that is kind of reference to how we were as young Black men, even though we never had like the locks and so on, but the treatment and how we've had to rise from it. So it's about resistance, redemption, and repatriation. What else am I reading? I'm reading Strong Women, Fed Up Men, Strong Women, Fed Up Men, Defeated Sons and Broken Daughters by Mark I can't pronounce his surname. Montfessy or something? Montfessy? It's French. Montfessy? You can say it. You've got a voice. What is it? Right, Mark Montfessy. So it's a title called Strong Women, Fed Up Men, Defeated Sons and Broken Daughters. And that's a great book. Great book. I've only just bought it about a week ago and I've started to read it, and it's absolutely so far it's like deep, and it speaks around the journey of us. And you kind of, when you read books like that, you can sort of feel so much and read so much about yourself in it. So it's reflective, and you just know that you're on the same journey as many different people. So grab them. Those are my recommended books as well. I don't know. I'll try and shout them out again for the end of the
that's excellent. I can hear balance there. So fiction, non-fiction, and things that actually support and nourish the mind to help your lifestyle. And I think that's key, really. So it's very clear that reading is important to you. So I don't need to ask you that question. What I'd like to know is, if you were unable to access book for the day, somebody said you're not going to the library, you've got no access to your books, what would you do instead?
I'd probably, well, I have good, solid conversations with individuals. So I'd probably highlight my publisher, because talking to him is always good, because we're very much on the same level. So speaking to him, I'd holler at probably my daughter Shalika, my cousin Ezreen. So I got people in my life that I can just, if I can't read, talking to them is just as good. It's just as influential, and it's just as, there's that much food for thought in most of my conversations. So yeah, if I can't read any day, there's always people that could always fill me up in terms of knowledge and information.
Good. So the beauty is, it's coming back to the fact that if you're not hearing from someone through their words in a book, you're hearing it vocally with some kind of contact. So you're definitely a people person, Mr. Terence Wallen.
100%. I'm all about the people, me. I'm all about people, though I live a very, very private life. People may not think so. People might think that I'm this public figure and I'm always out there, but really and truly, people who know me know how private I am and how tight and small my circle really is. Yeah, I'm popular, but trust me, it's in like everyday real life, I'm not that open to every single body.
That makes a lot of sense.
I kind of like my circle in a way, to keep it like this.
Good. Well, without further ado, let's talk about your latest venture. I'm so excited about this book.
Me too.
The 90-Day Truth Planner.
Yes, I am.
So I'm going to ask, I'm not going to stick to this script. What I'd like to ask first and foremost, why did you use the very significant word truth planner? It's not just about planning. You said 90-day truth planner.
I use the word truth because it is very much part of my journey, a part of the whole movement that I'm under. And that is about accepting one's truth and being truthful and being honest. So the reason why I said call it a truth planner is because I believe that a lot of the planners are not planners of truth. I said it in a nice way. Even though we become the author of our own planners, we become so socialized by what your vision board must look like and what success looks like. So I use truth to say there's another place for this, a wider place for this, rather than what, say, social media has us thinking, or what our vision boards have us thinking is what it must look like. So that's why I use the word truth so strongly, because I believe the truth is much deeper. The truth is more internal than what's on the outside, by far.
Another thing I'd like to know, and I'd like you to inspire the audience, the wonderful audience who have joined us this evening. You've chosen a particular colour for your truth planner. So can you share the colour? Because the colour, I'll also hear the energy and vibrant match in your voice. Why did you choose it? Tell us the colour and tell us why.
Well, I chose yellow because, I chose yellow because one, it's vibrant, and I have planners at home, and all my planners are black. And I didn't want my book to just sit like the rest of the books on my desk. And my desk is also black. And my computer is black and my tablet's black. So it would literally just look like, it would just literally blend in. And I'm black, so literally blend in. And if I had this today against my black top and my black face, then you wouldn't see the book. However, it being yellow, one, it stands out, it's vibrant, and it's a representation of energy and the sun and everything bright. And I really wanted that I wanted that to show. I wanted that to show.
Good, because I think, sometimes we overlook colours because colours carry a certain energy, and the way you've answered it, it's just encompassed that whole feeling, which is great. So did you feel that your version of a planner, that there was a gap in today's competitive market? Because it is so different to any other planner that I've ever saw. And I didn't get it at first, I'll be honest. I looked at it and I was like, and then it became so appealing to me because the words that were in it, the way it's constructed, it just spoke to my heart. It's got a heart of its own. So did you feel and see that there was a gap in the market?
Yeah, man, because my planner comes from my planner is tried and tested. So I didn't just put together a planner just to sell a planner. I've actually lived this planner. And that is why it's 90 days and not a 12-month planner. Because I broke it down into 90 days rather than trying to do it throughout the whole year. So it carries the energy, it carries the feeling, and it's different from every other planner because I'm placing more emphasis on the spiritual wealth and emotional wealth over the material wealth. But I'm not taking away from getting those things. I'm saying get the balance right. So that is why my planner is totally different. And the thing is, I say my planner because obviously I'm the author of it. However, you become the author of the planner. And then once you use the planner yourself, and if you use it correctly, then you will see how if you balance your life the right way, then it's going to be the best tool you've used all year. Remember me that.
That's bringing me on to some of the questions that I want to ask you, because once I looked at it and I was looking through, I got captured because I'm a lover of quotes. I'm a lover of affirmations. But what I didn't expect to see is where you've constructed particular time for prayer, for silence, for peace. So can you elaborate on why those elements were so important and how you crafted that into a book?
You know why? Because we're so like in a world that's everything's so fast paced, and we're chasing so much. Like I see the people around me all the time, and I see how much they're chasing, like, they're chasing, they're putting in extra hours work and they're chasing the bag. But the thing about chasing the bag is you chase the bag, and once you get the bag, you have to have the things in place to hold it, carry it, and to be able to utilize the fact that you now have a bag. So, and I watch it all the time. So the reason why we put in these things in place is because I'm saying, in your journey, you must be able to slow down, you must be able to stop, you must be able to reflect, you must be able to reset, and you must be able to do all these things. And I think, and because I actually lived these things, and some of the things that are in the planner, I lived anyway, but I didn't realize at the time that I was living them. So as I said, as an example, even when I was growing up as a youth in my teens and I was doing good in business, it always balanced with having downtime at my mom's or having fun time with, say, I used to be a manager of a rap group. and we used to always have these down times in between hard work. So we used to always have bags of fun. We used to always work hard. So it's always about balance, always about balance. So if you put that into your nowadays living, it's very important that no matter what you're chasing, like you have to have the things in place to I'll give another example. £1 million on paper. So someone cost me £1 million check, or I have £1 million check. £1 million on paper carries no weight at all. Just makes me a millionaire.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me a millionaire. It's all it makes me a millionaire on paper. However, give me £1 million in cash. Now it becomes the same £1 million, and I'm still a millionaire, but now I have to carry the weight of being a millionaire.
Yes.
See the difference? Now you got to carry the weight. And so therefore I have to have things in place that's going to help me to carry it. So whether it's physically or carry it otherwise, you have to have things in place to be able to carry it. Turn off your mic. Things in place to carry that moving forward. And that's not an easy way. It's not an easy way to carry. You know, like £1 million, £1 million is like 20 kilograms. You know, £1 million in cash, it's like 20 kilograms in total in weight to carry. And that's not an easy weight to carry. So what I'm saying is, with all the things that we're chasing, like, don't chase the big house if when you get it, you can't turn it into a home. It's
That
pointless.
makes a lot of sense.
Like, don't chase the big car if you're never going to enjoy the drive. Like, why am I going to go out and buy myself a Lamborghini, you know, but still got to visit my mum in Handsworth and go over speed bumps every day? It's pointless. I'm just saying it's a pointless thing for me to do. I'd have to live out in where the country roads are, everything's 100 miles, and I'm going to enjoy the drive of this beautiful Lamborghini that I've spent £500,000 on. So it's saying, like, when you're doing stuff, when you're chasing stuff, make sure, like, the balance, and make sure you've actually really thought these things thoroughly through. You know what I mean? And getting that balance right. That's what I'd say anyway. And it works. It works. Tried and tested.
Good. So balance is very clearly important to you. So what I'd like to ask about, you clearly used 90 days. Could you elaborate to our audience why 90 days is significant to success?
90 days is much easier. Like, if I say, if like we say, you know, oh, okay, it's ideal time to buy the book now. You know what everyone does at the start of the end of the year, start of the year, new year, oh, my New Year's resolution, you know, for 2022, yeah. I'm going to do that. I'm going to stop smoking. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Like, if you write down at the start of the year, then you might write down a whole list of things, and guarantee by the end of the year, you probably haven't ticked off, maybe not even half of them. Why? Because as life goes on, so many different things come into our lives. So many different things distract us. So many different things, you know, like, turn us to do other things. Whereas I think if you use 90 days by a shorter period, easier to manage, easier to even quit back and reflect, and, like, you know, on the cycle of change where you fall off, you can get back on quick because you're only using a 90-day window. So it's by far much easier to manage. And then you can see your goals, and realistic goals as well, like realistic goals. So for me to say by the end of the year, if I say by the end of the year, I'm going to buy another house by the end of the year. That gives me 12 months to procrastinate. It gives me 12 months to mess about, 12 months to make mistakes and think, oh, I won't start next week. I'll start the week after. I won't start next month, or something else has come up. Whereas if I say to myself, within the next 3 months, I am buying this property, I know I've only got a 3-month window to get stuff done. It's the drive that says I've only do it in a small window. So let me get it done. Let me get it done now. Let me get it done now. Let me get it done now. So 90 days works by far much better, I think, than the whole 12 months thing. It's just long.
Thank you. So for the next question, which is a bit of a phrase as well. So the 90-day truth planner provides for timely review and a reset for success whilst eliminating frustration. Can you elaborate on how this reduces frustration for the individual using your 90-day truth planner?
Because you're focused. That's the key thing. Because you're focused within those 90 days, you don't get frustrated. It's when it's when you have that long journey to go and other things come up, and then you start feeling frustration because I didn't get to get that done. I didn't get that done. Or you might see somebody else did it. I was going to do that, I was going to do that a year ago. I can't believe my man's done that and put that out. Blah blah blah. Whereas it eliminates frustration because within a 90-day window, you're focused, you're geared, you know what's expected of you, you know what it takes, and you're literally working like this, so to speak, to get things done, and you're going to take things off quicker. You know what I mean? If you look at it like this, when they drop an invoice on you for you to get paid within the 28 days, those 28 days are your 28 days, and you want to get paid within them 28 days, isn't it? You want that 28 days. And when the 28 days go past and you don't get your money, you're on the phone saying, where is my money? Because you're meant to clear the invoice within 28 days. Because why? Because you've managed your mind that I'm getting this money within 28 days. You're focused within 28 days. Same applies with the planner. You manage your mind to get this stuff done within 90 days, and you're going to get it done. And you won't slip outside of that. And if it did, then you'll realize that, okay, I'm out of sync. So it's about focus. Get the focus right, and you're good to go.
It's an excellent way to put it, because if you look at research and what psychologists look at, they also look at there's power in writing. So any individual that decides to write something tends to be more committed to seeing it come through. So that's why I find your methodology and the foundation behind it, I know it's manageable, it's workable, it happens. When I've had times of discipline, it's been very similar too. So writing is a way of showing us where we're going. Therefore.
Writing, write it down, put it in print. And that's another thing, like us as the people, we're not documenting enough, you know what I mean? Like I always say when I started to write that I will be part of the history the future will read about. So as long as I've written it down, as long as it's documented, as long as I have a published team that believes in me, as long as it's out there in the universe, as long as it's there, historically, you'll always be able to find it back. We have modern technology now that you can keep things for a million years and so on and so on and so on. So definitely write things down. And when you write things, you can always refer back to them. You can look at your notes. So I'm one of, putting notes in my phone and writing things down manually. So once you get into that habit, then you can't really go wrong from there, to be fair.
Excellent. As I said before, and looking at how you constructed this wonderful planner, can you tell me why you decided to put quotes in?
I just saw, I'm a man of quotes, and I just think it's about the balance as well. So what I'm saying in the planner is, because most planners are so materially focused on, like getting the business right and getting things right, by putting in the quotes, it kind of balances out the softer side than the harsh side of business. So you got a harsh side of business in terms of goals, but putting in quotes is a softer side. It gives you time to stop, reflect, and read something which would be totally different from reading, accounts or lawyer documents or in business. It gives you a softer side to read. So that's why the quotes are in there as well.
Good. What's very clear, personally and professionally, I view this as a holistic approach to adopting or changing our lifestyles. Was this your mindset throughout the creating process? Were you looking at it as a lifestyle change?
Certainly, it's definitely a holistic. It's definitely the holistic the package. So what I'm saying is that we are whole beings, and we must look at life as such and be treated as such. And anything we tackle or challenge, we must also do it as such as well. So be it business, be it family, we must certainly take the holistic approach to it all. So tapping into all the different elements that make up us as a being, that make up us as business people, that make up us as the products we might have. Tackle it all, but recognizing that it's a whole thing rather than just one individual thing. I say with the planner, okay, most of us, when doing this planner, the publishing company has sent out some questionnaires and so on, and we'd have our board meetings, and I'd said to the publishing company, if you put out and just tell people to send me the different pictures of their vision boards. So I had loads of vision boards coming in one day, board meeting. We had all the vision boards on the table, and we literally could put them into piles of the same kind of thing. You know what I mean? And everyone's vision board carried the same thing, which is cool. Like, don't get it wrong. So the vision boards carried the basics, which was the house, the car was on it, the watch was on it, the holiday was on it, stack of coins was always on it, or stack of money was on it. What else on everyone's vision board? Those are the basics on everyone's vision board, which is fine. Now, in the discussions, in our holistic discussions, because we have these kind of discussions, I was asking the question, so like, where is the smiley face on this vision board? Why doesn't nobody just want to be happy? Why does everybody want to be rich, but nobody wants to be happy? I'm saying, why isn't part of your vision on your vision board, your aims and your goals? Why isn't your mum on there? Or why aren't your kids on there smiling? Why isn't that part of your vision? So with recognizing that majority of people's visions were solely material, I realized that it's off balance. So bringing it back to the planner was to make sure that we don't lose sight of the things that are really, really important. We don't lose sight of the things that we can't gain. Well, we can gain, but we have to gain emotionally and more sensitively, rather than the things that we simply can gain by hard work. But solely by hard work and using money, or working towards the money, but not working towards being happy. You know what I mean? Because my success and everything else that comes, I don't measure it by what I own. I measure it more by the people around me and seeing other people happy, other people successful, seeing the greatness in other people. So that is where the balance for this planner comes in. I'm just saying, just balance it out. I'm not saying don't chase that bag, but I'm saying make sure you got the things in place to be able to manage that bag.
That's beautiful, that is. What I would like to say to you is, the word success, you spoke about success, and it's very, it's a foundation, and it's current, and it's something that, flows through how you speak. So what I would like to say is, can you describe to us all what success means to you, and what does success actually look like?
Okay. So success is a good question. So success to me personally means being in a position where I'm able to help other people, and being in a position where I can end up recognizing other people's greatness. Once I see the greatness in other people, then I feel like I am successful. For everyone whose life I've crossed or been part of or helped or supported, once I see them doing great stuff, then I feel like, well, that is my success, because those are the things that will continue long after I've left this earth, because that same person will pass on that same knowledge and support, ideally, onto someone else. Because I can lose all my money tomorrow morning, but my true ones and my loved ones will always remain. That's I always say. I'm never going to be hungry. I'm never going to be homeless. And I'm never going to be broke. I'm not saying that in a sense of broke. I'm saying broke in terms that even if I don't have the financial wealth, I know I have the spiritual wealth, because people always show me love, and that's what fills me. So that's what it means to me in terms of what success looks like. So let me tell you what it doesn't look like first. Success doesn't look like the big car. Success doesn't look like the big house. Success doesn't look like the 5 holidays a year. Success doesn't look like the £500,000 watch, the Richard Mille. That's not what success looks like. Success does not look like the glossy video. Success does not look like a goddamn app on Instagram that makes you look £1 million. That's not what success looks like. Not in real life, anyway. What success looks like, it looks like nothing. Success is what it feels like. So success looks like now. So if I just, my audience, like, if you have a blank picture, then, and picture nothing, but know that you feel the success. So when I feel like, if I see or come across people that have come across my life, success is what it feels like rather than what it looks like. So I feel the energies of other people and how great they've done. So that's what success. And that's why I have, I've been mentoring men and women for years, and there's some great people that I've mentored, that's gone from 10 grand a year salaries to being multi-millionaires now. And what success isn't, to me, is what they've achieved financially, because they can spend what they want. You see, I know millionaires that are only drinking 20 grand bottles. I also know millionaires that are only drinking £1 Kirkland water. So what it looks like is nothing. What it looks like is, it's not that important. It's what it feels like. And if you feel success within, then you know. But only people who know it, innit? So I think the real ones know what I'm talking about. You got to feel it. It's not what it looks like. Hold that. Is that okay? Do you understand that?
I do. It's a beautiful way to describe it. So what I've noticed in society, as we've already hit on, it's fast-paced. It seems to be based around material wealth rather than spiritual wealth. So that brings me on to, in your opinion, would you say that the education system and the media have given us a false concept of success?
Of course, man. Like, listen, we've got to a place where people are more interested in looking successful than being successful. So people want to look the part, but don't want to graft and become the part. Do you know what I mean? And that is part and parcel of the problem, because society and social media has got us to a place where we feel like, well, we simply have to look great. No, I'm not saying you mustn't look great, It's like, I don't want people to get this misconstrued. So yes, look great, but you must also feel great, more so than looking great. So yeah, society and the media are doing their thing in terms of how they want it to be perceived.
Hence why I went looking through the 90-day truth planner. My heart was just beaming, vibrant, because it's like, at last, it's about time we've seen something now that's tangible, that you can put your hands on, and buy and have in your hand and actually see. Do you know what? Success is not just about me having a great house, because somebody who's an unhappy soul is not going to be happy in a beautiful house. So talking about success and knowing how this 90-day truth planner can bring us to a holistic point of success. We live in a community where we use the term bad mind. We use the term haters, because when somebody acclaims, there's always one crab in the bucket. So I've got to ask you, it's got to be said, how do you manage that kind of, what it is, what we call it, bad mind?
Listen, I don't see them. I know they're there, but I don't see them. It's like, yeah, they're there in it, but I don't see them, because for every one person that hates me, I got 10 people that love me. So for every one person that I'd have to say, why don't you like me? I'd rather spend that day saying, why do you love me so much? You know what I mean? So for, like, I simply don't see them, but I know they exist, because the devil exists, and it is what it is. But they can't perturb me. I'm too busy loving the people that I love, rather than focus on the people that don't love me. So I just think it's a waste of energy. Anybody who kind of puts their energy into bad mind and into stressful people, and every day he wants to put up on their status, everyone's hating on me, or people don't like me, or but it's your business. When you really can put that energy and say, damn, I'm loved, or damn, do I got some great people in my team, or damn, there's greatness out there. Energy better spent, innit? And time, because once time's gone, we can't get it back in a lower. Once that gone, can't get it back in. Time, when that's gone, that's gone.
Now, as you know, in Today Truth Plan encompasses balance, there are many people out there that will be able to relate to you. So how do you achieve balance as a father, a grandfather now, a businessman, and a man of leisure? How can you show us how you have achieved that, and give us some advice with the elements of your plan, how it can be done?
Well, in terms of balance, I've afforded myself through working hard that I'm now comfortable enough where I don't need to work hard, just need to work smart. So it affords me the freedoms to do the things that really, really matter. So, for me to gain balance, I have to have the time for myself, time for others. Probably them two things are kind of the key things: time for myself and time for others. So once I kind of manage those times in my day, then my day is full, my day is done. Sleep well, eat well, have good positive conversations. Smiling and laughing is very, very good for the soul. I mean, like speaking and keeping your circle tight with the right people. So all these things just create balance for me in life, and then everything else seems to be a bonus. Because I'm telling you, I personally, no matter, because I'm also a humanitarian. So money serves a purpose, a good purpose as well. So for me, having money isn't just about flossing, but it's about being afforded a position to now be able to, not now, because I've always, to give back, and give back whether financially or in time, and placing a good value on that. So placing a good value on my time, placing a good value on the people around me. So the whole balance thing, Laura, is about, for me, it's about time for myself and time for the people around me. And as long as I'm keeping getting that right, I'll be fine. And that is how my day is. I mean, I don't get up every day, start thinking about goddamn Bitcoins and business, and I swear to God, I don't. I get up and I think, what I have to do today in order for the Bitcoins to work is I gotta go and drop my grandson to nursery. And then once that sets my day off, I'm a badass businessman for the rest of the day. If I have something on the table, and my mom's soul rest in peace, if I go to my mom's house, it's my peace. I know that, you see, for the rest of the day, you can't run for me behind a business table. It is like that. It really, really is like that. So once I can get the balance in my life, if for any reason though, I may have had like a bad morning, like I'd woke up and I'm thinking of Stead or thinking of my mum, boom, I jump on my phone. I'll probably chat to this weird girl called Matty. Matty's just full of rubbish. It just makes me laugh every single day. However, that making me laugh every day is gonna catapult and springboard me into rocking any business meeting I walk in for the rest of the day, because my energies are right and because I'm set. So that's how I create the balance for myself every day, by making sure all the other elements of my life are in place in order to rock the other things that are important, but not as important as the things that really, really matter. Because I sacrifice it all. And y'all can quote me on this. Like, I would sacrifice the money, the house, the car, I sacrifice it all, like, for my family, for the people I love, and for the real things that matter to me. Because that's where the success is, and that is where the wealth is. It's not in nothing physical, not in nothing material at all.
Excellent. So as we did touch on social media earlier, so social media has some benefits. However, it is too can be quite destructive. So for example, it's a platform for procrastination. So for somebody who has this issue of procrastination and the invasion of social media, how would this 90-day truth planner support a person with this particular issue?
So social media will eat you up if you allow it to. Honestly, like if you look how much time we actually spend on our phones doing this. I don't have my phone with me, but how many times we spend doing this, and we scroll and we get on TikTok and we scroll again and we scroll again on Instagram. I'm fine. But if you were to turn that scrolling into value as a business, you're scrolling, come by yourself. There's nothing from it. You've made no money from it. You've scrolled, you've done nothing from it, unless you're going to buy something. Yeah. So you got to use social media to work for you. So when you're putting something out there, you make sure you put the effort, you make sure your marketing's on point, you make sure you do the right things. So when somebody else is doing the scrolling, you're making the money. That makes sense?
Definitely.
You're making the piece. So social media as a way of, it will eat up your whole day. You can jump on any platform, be it Insta or anything else, and you just scroll and you're just checking and you're just looking at, you're laughing at, you watch, you're laughing, do the TikTok dance, you think, oh, that's fun. But then again, it's bought into a lot of your time, which you can never get back. But it hasn't probably made you no money or nothing, or hasn't even soothed your mind or kind of, settled you. So you know what I'm saying, use social media to benefit you. So, if I say then, if you on a normal day spend 1 hour spread across the day on TikTok, or spend 1 hour on a normal day on Insta, looking at, Afro dancing or whatever it is, if you on a normal day have done that, what I press you to do is use some of that hour and listen to some meditation music. Use some of that hour and listen to a podcast on life or on meditation or on life skills or whatever it is. But I'm saying just use the time right. So social media works and it doesn't work. You got to know how to use it. You got to be in control of using how social media works for you, rather than making social media control.
And this is where I find the beauty. I'm fortunate that I have had the privilege of seeing, feeling, and looking through your 90-day truth planner. And why I asked you about social media is because I personally believe by using that lifestyle tool, you will naturally fall away from putting your time there, because the way you've constructed that book, it makes you focus on yourself, you see.
And you rightfully should do, like, we should be focusing on ourselves, because it all starts here, and it all starts with you. Like, if you don't value yourself, how are you going to expect other people to value you? It has to start with you. Really has to start with you. And that is why I'm always pressing and saying, like, you can chase the money if you like. So I'm not telling people what to do now. I'm just giving you a good guide of how to do it better. You could chase the money, but I'd rather say chase the spiritual journey instead. And then you watch how the money and other bits will just start to flow, and you'll be in a much calmer, relaxing place to be able to manage those things. I think had success in terms of finance just been my only thing, I wouldn't turn off your mic. Someone's got their mic on, not sure who it is. Having success being my only thing, I don't think one would have been able to manage the stresses that come with that. You know what I mean? Because that comes with its own stresses. But I think because I meditate and I find time and I give love and I show love, it allows me to manage anything that comes my way. Like, I'm so cool and I'm so easygoing. Like, give me a second. Let me know when I'm back in shop. Hey.
Back in chat. So what I can hear from you also.
Part of freedom to do what I want. You know what I mean? I can do this again. Look.
You're not Case.
Yeah, that's what it's about, isn't it? Like, if I'm saying, if I wasn't settled and balanced, like, right now I'll be a wreck. I'll be stressed, man. I'm not that guy.
So to the next question here, and I'm sure this will intrigue everybody. You clearly have a strong view about people not living within their comfort zones, because I've noticed that by reading your material. So can you express to us why it's so important to come out of our comfort zones? Where did that come from for you?
Because you can't, like, we all know. And if you don't know, you better get to know. But you can't grow in your comfort zone. So wherever you're comfortable, you're going to get complacent. Wherever you're comfortable, you become very complacent. So, you know, sometimes we know things need to be changed, but we're so comfortable, we just can't be bothered to change it, you know. So I think, so growth comes from when you're challenged to do better. If I know, as an example, if I know that I have the strength to lift up this, and I swear I'm not even plugging elite vibes, but I am. If I know I got the strength to lift up this, I'm always going to believe this is the best I can do. This is the best I can do. When I then decide, oh, I can do two of them, I think, okay, so I have the strength to lift them both.
Yes.
Do you understand what I'm saying? What I'm saying, in terms of, so I'm saying, like, it's not comfortable enough to just lift the one. I'm just saying, you have to know that, let me just try and lift the two, see if I can do it. And it's like weights at the gym, you know, you start off a low weight and you don't know your strength until you get past the first hurdle. You think, oh, I can do that. And then you get stronger and you get stronger, and you can lift another, you know, you put another 10 kgs on or whatever it is. So you're never gonna grow whilst you just remain comfortable. Never, ever. And I've been in a number of uncomfortable situations. And I learned this. Let me tell you, I learned this from my brother Stead. And Stead taught me, and I didn't realize at the time, Stead taught me how to grow while being uncomfortable. Why? Because he had this way of doing things and just throwing me in, literally learn to swim or drown. Now I'd have been comfortable. So like, it was like Stead used to do stuff like, if you bought a property, or it would say, I bought this property, can you go and sort it out? I think, I don't really know nothing about properties. But what did it do? It took me out of my comfort zone and made me go and find out about properties and how to do this and how to do that and how to do that. And that, as well as giving me knowledge, it encouraged growth in it. It encouraged growth. So you're never gonna grow while remaining comfortable. Hell no.
So for those of us then, there'll be plenty of people out there that do struggle with coming out of the shell. And, you know, whether I do life coaching or not, I still have that struggle. So how would the 90-day truth planner support somebody with their development to break out of that shell?
Because you're going to add that to your 90-day truth planner. It's going to be one of the things that you need to, it's one of the things that you're going to put down as one of your aims, is to come out of my shell. And you're going to figure out a way of, you know, what are you going to do to come out yourself? So if you knew that I struggle as a health goal, then I struggle as a health goal to eat properly. So you're going to make it one of your health goals. You're going to come out your comfort zone and think, that's it. I'm so comfortable just sitting there eating pizzas. I'm comfortable like that, innit? That's what I know. I'm so comfortable buying chicken every day, because that's what I know, innit? You think, you know what, I'm going to try something new today. I'm going to try a fish. It's a health goal. So you're going to use the planner to step out of those comfort zones. And you've got, once again, a small window to make the changes. So instead of saying, you know what, by the end of the year, I'm going to stop eating fish. Or by the end of the year, I'm not going to eat pork again by the end of the year. You bring it all the way down to 90 days, and you can say, you know what, if you do 90 days, if you want to, you can say, within 7 days, I'm no longer going to be buying pork, because I'm going to start buying fish by next week, Monday. And it's a goal. But the Monday come, you start by the fish. You don't buy the pork. That's a goal. You've come out of the comfort zones of what you normally eat, and now you got a whole new healthy diet coming on. You're on fire, man. You're on point.
Excellent. So would you say then, because you've been taught to come out of your comfort zone, when was the last time you threw somebody in the deep end, Terence, darling?
I throw the publishing company into the deep end all the time, every day. But I think the reason why it works for me is because we have such a good solid relationship, and we have a full-on understanding, respecting of each other's styles, each other's goals and pushing. So every day, I do it every day, man. Every day I throw stuff at them that they must think, what's going on? Some stuff are not even in budget, but.
Right, I'm teasing you here.
I was getting done.
There's a big hint. Is there anybody on screen that's ever been driven out of their comfort zone by an email?
So again, anybody did what?
Been driven out of their comfort zone by an email from you?
Probably you. You're probably one, because I didn't ramp when I was emailing you, because I just knew that I knew you were. I just felt like you would be a good one for the Oh yeah, sorry. See, stuff like that again. Get off your phone. Yeah, I've started. Yeah, like even like emailing, even like when I emailed you and stuff. It wasn't that concise, but it was precise. It was precise to the point that I know what I needed from someone who's going to interview someone like me, someone who's complex as me, someone who's deep as me. So I had to then make sure that things that you may be uncomfortable with, obviously I didn't tell you what to ask me, but in terms of what I'm about, so things that you may be uncomfortable with or that you hadn't done before, I was saying to you that, listen, it can be done. You can do it. I believe in you. I have no reservation that you're not the right person for this. You're not the right person for this, in order for me to get the right message across in what this is about. Because this conversation wouldn't have been the same conversation had it been with somebody else, because it's a more deeper conversation. And as you notice, we haven't really touched on the full on making the whole heap of money and the business and that, because I think it's a deeper move. It's a part of a movement. So
Absolutely.
Yeah, every day I throw people into the deep end, man. But it works though. It works because then it stretches people to get things. It gets some people to get things done. It shows their own ability. Like my what I say, small demands, because I say it so it sounds small, to make sure that my launch work comes off on time, that my marketing, all that's on time. So I just literally say it, and then the pressure is on the publishing company, and for them to sort of scramble around and to get stuff done. But I think had I been more relaxed, they go, oh, good, get that done, But they know that the pressure is going to be on, and it stretches them, and they only become greater. And then I become greater in return as well. So
it is absolutely an excellent way to bring out the best in someone. So as you mentioned, your publisher, if you don't mind, his name is Daryl James.
Daryl James, yeah.
Could I ask him a couple of questions, and then I'm going to come back to you, and then it will start to come to a close.
Okay, so I'm gonna jump out a shot, and you can jump in.
I'll just grab him for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, man, by all means, man. It's good. I need to stretch anyway. Fix my hair.
How's it going, everybody?
Makeup.
Hi, Daryl. Good evening.
Hello, Laura. How's it going?
It's feeling really good. I'm enjoying every moment of this, and I just want to thank you for allowing me to be part of it. But it would be remiss of me not to bring you in and ask you a couple of questions, really. So can I ask you to share with us a little bit of your background about yourself, and then to tell us how you actually came into publishing?
Yeah, sure. I've always loved nonfiction books. So books by Zig Ziglar, Jim Rohn, some of the older guys, and then guys like Anthony Robbins and things like that, or Tony Robbins, as some people know him. So I started this nonfiction book club, if you will, on Instagram. And the more people, like, we used to like set up like a book a month to kind of go through and kind of deliberate on, but it's all nonfiction or business type or entrepreneur type books and things like that we used to go through. And then as I was in Spain, taking some time out, this was maybe back in 2016 or 17. I was in Spain for quite a long time, visiting a few friends of mine over there. And I just wanted to write a book. I thought, you know what, let me just start looking at writing my own book and things. And it dawned on me what type of topic I might be looking at. And it was all about passive income. I had been looking at it myself at the time. I was dipping into passive income at the time in different ventures, your YouTubes, your currency and different other things like that I was doing at the time as well. And from creating my own book, 30 Passive Income Ideas, who Terry spoke about earlier, property, YouTube, I spoke about affiliate marketing, dividends, you name it. So going through the book and everything, I started to do it through my own publishing company. I wanted to, if you will, have ownership of what I was about to put out. And from doing that, other people started to see what I was doing, and I ended up, publishing 3 or 4 books before me and Terry sat down and had a discussion on his books that he was going to put out. And today, now we're on book number 17. And I believe by the end of 2022, we'll be on book 50. We've got like a process and a strategy and framework in place now, if you will, that we can just kind of, knock them out and things like that as time goes.
That's absolutely brilliant. So how long has your publishing company been running for?
4 years now. 4 years.
Brilliant. And where are you based? Do you have a base that would benefit the public knowing where you are?
Yeah, I mean, we do almost everything online. So dmjpublishing.co.uk. I do have offices actually in this building, which is, Birmingham City Centre, Alpha Tower. But, if anybody wanted to speak or have some form of consultation or anything like that, a meeting with myself, then probably through the website for this particular company, DMJ Publishing.
Excellent. And how has it been working with the infamous Mr. Terence Wallen, who's quite a handful?
Yeah.
How's that been for you?
It's been good. I mean, you go back and forth in it. I mean, we've had a lot of meetings, as he says, we had the vision boards around it. We had people send in a few key people, case studies, if you will, a few people that we had sending their vision boards and stuff. And I believe that was probably one of my favorite meetings. But we've, it's okay. I think because we've known each other for some time now, we've worked with each other on the previous books. I think it's definitely been, manageable this time around, and, it's very, very good to work with him.
I'm really happy that you've answered those questions. It's been wonderful to meet you.
Yeah.
And only because of time, I can't ask you any more questions, but Thank you so very much. And I look forward to seeing your success climbing and climbing and climbing.
Thank you.
I love the partnership that you've got with Terry. It's very clear that it works brilliantly. So brothers together lightens my heart. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. I'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Yo, my G. It's like real kings fix other kings' crowns. You know what I mean? And he fixes my crown and I fix his. So it's good, man.
It's evident to see. There's something I'd like to touch on with you, and because of time, because of time.
We've got time, we can keep running.
Sorry, excuse me. Yeah, what I'm looking at here, prayer, time for silence, and peace is very evident in your book. Why is this so important to you?
Prayer. So repeat the question again. Is prayer something? You said something else.
So prayer and time for silence and peace are very evident in your book. So why is this so important to you?
Because those are the reflective times. Those are the saddest times. And we all need them times. Like we live in such a fast world. Like everything is fast and everything is noisy. And there's always something going on. Like, the times in order to reset and reflect, you do need that quiet time. We need to turn off our phones every now and then. We need to turn off our TVs. Let's turn off our socials. and reconnect with life and reconnect with people and reconnect with self and reconnect with the universe. So we have to do these things. So it's so easy to get caught up in everything, I swear, because it's like a whole jungle out there every day. It really, really is. And I think if you don't find time to find peace and to pray and to meditate and to think, you're constantly taking these things on, constantly taking. It's like you're literally like sitting there and people throwing softballs at you all day, all day, all day, all day. You know, you've got to be able to control. You got to be able to control that. So, you know, instead of saying, instead of bawling that you're tired, then just turn your phone off and rest in it. Don't moan about it. Don't come and lie and moan about it. Like, I'm tired. I've worked myself into the bone today. Right? You're in control of your life. You're in control. You're the driver of your life. So you're in control of your destiny. So instead of that, just simply, boom, I'm turning my phone off for half an hour today or putting it on silent. I'm not going to go on in the socials for the next hour. Just going to sit down and look out the window. I'm just going to meditate. Or I'm just going to read a book. Like, just take control back, man. Otherwise, I swear, otherwise the whole system will control us. So you got to be in control of your life.
I agree totally. It's I guess what I observe when you look at what we see in the public domain is that that's something that people do feel like they don't have that control, hence why I felt that question was so important. So as you do, Terence, you do actually show quite clearly that you do have vulnerabilities. You do show very clearly when you're having a bad day. You've cried in public. You've said what's in your heart. So I'd like to ask you, when could you share with us a time when you were literally brought to your knees and all you could do was pray?
So, listen, my journey is that journey, man. Like, I am fully, I'm a fully fledged, I am a fully fledged, vulnerable, transparent, happy to be that guy. Like, I've had many occasions where, like, I'm just not about hiding my feelings like that. You know what I mean? Like, you know why as well? Because I think I spent so many years doing it. I think I spent so many years, like, you know, trying to be, you know, the great guy, and everything's perfect and everything is when it wasn't. So I'm not even, there's been times, man, I swear, like, I think my worst day has always been losing my mum and losing my brother Stead. So like those two turning points in my life have really brought a lot of stuff home for me, you know, had me thinking a lot. And it's weird as well, because sometimes I'm good, you know, sometimes I'm fine. Other days it could be anything, it could just be a song, it could be a particular smell. It could just be, I don't know, look out the window or a sense of feeling. It could be anything. It really, really varies. You know what I mean? Like, so I lost my mum in the end of August, and I have multiple triggers, but one of the triggers for me is when I see my sister Sonia, and I seen her yesterday actually, and she wasn't at the house. I went to her house and she wasn't there, which is like, you're coming now because I need to eat. But when she walked through the kitchen door, and she had a coat on and she had a scarf sort of wrapped up, and she looked exactly like my mum. The minute she walked, she looked exactly like my mum. You look, and that's the first thing that came to my head. So I've had many times when I've had to go on my knees and pray, and just pray to be held together. Like, pray that I can hold it together. You know what I mean? And allow myself to be vulnerable, because I had to question my own mental health as well over the last couple of years, because you feel like you're losing it. And because I spent so much years in control and then feeling like I was no longer in control, so I questioned my own mental health, and I had to question it in order to work on it. I had to recognize that I wasn't myself in order to get help to be myself. So there's enough times when man just has to gather my thoughts, pray, and just try to pull it together. You know, I've had, like I just say, the last 4 years, man, it's been a mad one, if I'm honest. You know, I swear, last 4 years, like, I lost my brother's dead. Lost my brother's dead. Lost my mom. Lost my auntie Pippa. Lost a whole lot of money, but that don't matter. You know, I've lost people. Like, it's been a mad last couple of years. And I only say that in comparison to the other 40 odd years where it's been so good. But that's what life is about. That's life balance, isn't it? Like, I couldn't have had this. I've had such a good long run of everything being good. And then all of a sudden, one after the other, I got licked for six. But then it woke me up to that. One, I'm only human. Two, I am going to find myself in vulnerable positions. Three, I have to accept who I am and accept life for what life throws at me. And four, just got to get up and deal with it. Because while I'm here, while I'm alive, you know, there's shit for me to do, and I have to press on and get things done and do it right and do it for the people, you know, do it for the people around me. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Well, I absolutely commend you. I really do commend your journey, particularly because, you know, I'm a woman and my experience has been dealing with women and their issues. And I find that women are very much more open and it's been accepted. And in the African Caribbean community, you know, men are brought up, stop ball, fix up, the way I look like that fine, you have to be a man. So, you know, I've heard it said to my brother, I've heard it said to my cousins. So with yourself, now that you have become so open with your emotions, which I actually call emotional intelligence, do you come across adversary from other male counterparts in our community? Because
the man in my community can't ramp with me. The man, it's not that time. Like, it's not that time. But I don't come across that. Like, because I don't show weakness, and I always show strength. The difference is my strength isn't hyper masculinity. That's not my strength. My strength is that I can look down the lens of a camera and say, I am great. I am great. So that's where, you know, like, I show a different kind of strength. So those in my circle understand and recognize that strength. You recognize that when I walk into a room, my presence is felt. That is my strength. I don't show the hyper masculinity. I'm not the bad man. I don't do that. That's not me in it. I'm not, you know, I'm that guy. I'm that guy. So yeah, I show strength in different ways. And I'm happy to show vulnerability anywhere to anyone. Like, I care zero. It matters. Like, the real people that care are those that matter in it, and those that don't matter don't care anyway. You know what I mean?
We're getting some really beautiful responses in the chat box, so thank you for those that are responding. And
anybody asking a question?
Well, they're commending you for your strength.
Oh, thanks, y'all.
They're commending you for your journey. They're commending you for showing your vulnerability. I mean, it's nothing but praise and love here.
And tell them they can ask questions, you know, like the people that are online, like if they've got any particular questions, like the production team can see the questions. So if they've got any questions, like, feel free to throw questions in, and I'm happy to go I'm happy to go over the schedule.
Okay, well,
so
what we'll do,
as long as you've got the time, Laura.
Yeah, that's fine. What we will do, my darling, I will ask you my very last question, and then we'll honour our audience and ask the productive team to look at some of the questions, because I think it's good to acknowledge those who have given us their time. So my very last question, my wonderful Mr. Terence Wallen, given the fact that in your first book, Now I Am Famous, you tell all practically about your life. Would you have liked the younger Terence to have received or been gifted with a copy of the 90-Day Truth Planner?
Definitely. If a younger Terence had got a copy of the 90-Day Truth Planner, I would have been in a different place now. So yeah, but everything happens within its time. Like, this is the time now, isn't it? This is the time now. Sometimes the movement has to start at a certain point. And this is a movement, Laura. Like, this movement's bigger than me, Trust me, you're gonna see this. You'll see everything about the truth. You'll see truth water, truth t-shirts, truth movement, truth meetings, truth gatherings, the truth walk. You're gonna see it all. Like, this is part of a massive, massive movement, which though I may spearhead, like, it will take its organic, like, it will take its own organic journey. People will understand it and move it on and carry it on and carry it on and carry it on. And in years to come, we'll always look back on, the truth movement, we started it, but it'll be like the stone in the ocean, and it will just have that beautiful ripple effect, and everyone will just jump on it. And hopefully we'll birth a generation of the next generation of real, authentic trailblazers who will do things differently, have by far bigger outcomes. So they'll be chasing the money, so to speak, and the success, but they're going to do it totally differently, with a spiritual understanding, with a sense of caring, with a sense of love. You don't have to be ruthless. Like, you don't have to always be ruthless and banging on and, oh, I've got to get that now, I've got to do that now. You don't have to, you don't have to think, okay, I have to go out there and do this so I can wear the latest Fendi coat. They're nice, don't get me wrong, but I can do just as much in a £20 Primark t-shirt and save myself £900. I'm just saying. So a whole generation will just, hopefully, will be part of the movement, and that's what we're doing, because this is a movement. This ain't no just one-off thing, and it will outlive the books. I'll put books out forever, but I mean, it will outlive in terms of the movement, because the generations will take it on, and we'll just keep passing the baton on. Because that's what we've done up to this point. Like, someone had to pass the baton to me for me to pass the baton on, and someone had to pass the baton to that person in the first place. So, there's a great saying that, I stand tall because I stand on the shoulders of those that came before me. And that is exactly where I'm at right now. And I stand on the shoulders of others. Others stand on my shoulders, and others stand on their shoulders. As long as the movement's taking place, I swear we're looking for a bright future. And with this whole COVID thing as well, that kind of shook people up and got people disgruntled and fear and scaremongering and all other bits that came with it. I think it's always a time, innit? And I think now is the time to put things in place. No fear, reset. Show sense of resistance, take risks, get it right, but be in touch with yourself,
Thank you. I've got to say, Terence, I feel very honoured and humbled. It's been beautiful and a wonderful experience. I want to say thank you to everybody that joined us this evening. And I must say, this to me is generational wealth from the heart. And thank God we are finally seeing this. This is our awakening, and I think we are very privileged to be part of it. So thank you, everyone, and I'll hand over to the production team.
Thanks, Laura. So someone's got a question, right?
Yeah, the first question is, are there any big bottles of Elite Vibes left, and where can they get them?
Second?
Any bottles of...
Yo, listen, let me tell you something about... Right. These are here, not just because, it's part of what we do. But there's the orange, the pineapple, which is the later flavor, this one here. The pineapple and ginger is the later flavor. Literally sold out. And that's like, we want to put it out like 2 weeks or so. And it's mad. It's gone mad. So you can get them in a few stocks, because we're in about 30, 40 different stores in the UK anyway. So some shops will have them, but in terms of the grape, we've still got grape left. You can get them from Elite Wines, Rudin. Look on Google Maps, Elite Wines. But they're there, man. You can get them, man. You can get them. Just jump on the Elite Wines Instagram. Leave us a DM message, and we'll tell you where your nearest stockist is. And also the Grapevine in King Standing. Jump on theirs. They'll be able to holler at them. They'll tell you where they can get them from as well. So yeah, man. Elite Vibes are the new vibes,
All right, next question is from Charlotte.
Hi, Charlotte. Thanks for tuning in.
Is there
Hi.
any advice?
Hey, Charlotte.
Hey.
Charlotte, do you want to ask a question yourself?
Yeah, so if you don't mind, I'm a friend of Laura's. I work with her.
Okay, cool.
So I write a lot. I'm also a teacher, and my background is psychology. And I'm very in tune with like my spiritual and emotional parts of myself, and I always think about other people. But I find a lot of comfort and kind of I find it really beneficial to write. So sometimes I write things down. So I write, it might just be affirmations, it might just be quotes, or sometimes poems and chapters. It just really depends on kind of like the emotion that I'm feeling in that moment or what I'm trying to process. But like I've always been kind of curious how I would go about writing a book or where I would even start. And like when Laura invited me to this, like I'm so glad that I stayed on for the whole 2 hours, because if this has done anything for me, it's kind of like got me out of that stage of mine where I'm going, actually, Charlotte, you know, you can put pen to paper and you could actually write a book, but I just wouldn't know where to start.
Well, you've already started, Charlotte. That's a thing. And see, that's sometimes we do things and we don't know that we're there. You've actually already started by even noting down things. All that you've done the sport that you probably need is how to sort of chronicleize it and, you know, structure and get it into structure. And to be fair, I was like that. You know, my publisher had to show me how to structure a book and how to, you know, put things in structure. You know, he literally, I just remember him saying to me, we're gonna, you know, we probably had like 30 headings. Now that 30 down to 20. Now that 20 down to 15. Now down to the best 10. Now start right. I got 10 headings now. I'm writing about each thing within those 10 headings, starting from the beginning to the end. So it's very much about structure. But you've already started because you've already got content. You're not just coming from nowhere. So the fact that you've already started, and then the thing about the journal as well, the 90-day journal is if you complete the journal over 90 days, and then you move on to a next 90 days of new goals, and then the next 90 days of new goals, 3, 6, 9, that's 9 months. Then the next 90 days of new goals, that's literally a year gone. You've achieved so much within these 3-month windows. At the end of the year, you've literally written your own self-help book.
Oh, that's actually really smart. Like an actually like way to put it, isn't it? Like
because I'm good at what I do.
I see the purpose. See it.
You see it. So you've actually written your own self-help book, and then what you probably do is holler at me because you know Laura.
I've just followed you on Instagram. It's all right.
Easy.
Yeah.
So, do a screenshot now. And listen, you're on screen and I'm on screen. Now listen, I said like, and then at the end of the year, you can by all means you can holler at me, and then we can we'll probably do some. I think it's a publishing company. Probably do some workshops or something.
I think that'd be so good because I think Laura inspires me all the time, and me and Laura have really good conversations about a variety of subjects, and because we both work in education, we have similar passions, you know, about helping the younger and upcoming generations of youth. And we use education as like a kind of a powerful tool to enable them to, you know, advance their lives. I think that encouraging writing more is really, really important for people, because you touched on something in this session that people don't write enough. Like, I feel like a lot of people have lost that skill.
People don't read enough.
Yeah, people don't read enough, but because they don't read enough, they don't write enough, because their vocabulary and their mindset is not a broad spectrum. So so they go hand in hand, don't they? But yeah, I think that would be really good if you did like workshops or something. I think that for people who would be interested, definitely.
But a good start, once again, I say, if you work through a journal, whether my journal or somebody else's journal, obviously I want you to get mine, but whether my journal or somebody else's journal, once you start getting into the habit of writing, so for those people that are not regular writers, the 90-day journal is a good way to start. Regular writing every day for 3 months, and then you start to realize how enjoyable it is. One, to write, one, to document, one, you can look back at what you've written, one, you can see you can sort of get into a routine of writing. And then you realize over 6 months, you think, oh my life, I've written this much stuff already over a quick, over like in period of no time. And once again, I says, you literally writing your own self-help book. And then that one structured right can be published. How I overcome my achievements or my goals or whatever it is into your own book, and then get that book published. Get it published by us though. Let us do the publishing.
Oh well, I've messaged Daryl on here.
Well, see, I got your message, y'all.
I'm going to keep in touch. And Laura, thank you so much. Like, this is the best thing I could have done on an evening. Really, thank you.
Charlotte, I feel so honoured that you joined us. Honestly, listening to your voice, thank you.
No, thank you. And thank you for all of that. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for tuning in, Shah. Any more questions? See, I said Shah, like we're on first name terms. My big friend, Shah.
That's hilarious. Nobody calls me that unless they know me.
Oh, sorry, Shah. Sorry, Charlotte.
What's next for Terence Wallen?
Okay, what's next for me? Well, in terms, I still got my humanitarian work doing. So I've got a few things in the pipeline. We're kicking out the movement. I'm launching my own water brand. So we've already got, the liquor, the Elite Vibes with my nephew Nathan. But I'm launching a water brand, and the water brand really it's called True Water. And it's less about selling water, but be able to produce water that everyone can have access to water. So to be able to donate thousands and thousands of bottled water to worthy causes in the UK and around the world. And from that, then with the right drive and with the right connections with like World Health Organization, UNICEF, and what else is there? Water Aid, or any organization that we're happy to be part of. We want to start building a thing called True Wells, or we call True Wells, which is literally water pipes in third world countries. So that's what we'll do next. I'm also fortunate enough to be currently working on my first app. So my app hopefully will be out in 2022, and the app will, you download it. The app will very much be a combination of the 90-day truth planner and 365 days, and a bit of Now I'm Famous. So I'm literally going to give you tips on how I did it. It'll be some motivations and inspirations on the app as well, so you can get your daily motivations in the app. And the planner part of the app will be giving you tips on how to move forward and how to get things done. So the app hopefully that will be ready by 2022, and it will give you small daily things to do, nothing really hard that anybody can do. So we might, today's message on the app will probably be meditate for 30 minutes, reconnect with yourself, or might send you a message saying remove all distractions today. Just remove all distractions. So turn off your phone, turn off your TV, no socials for a certain period of time, and just that, just exactly just that. You might get a message that might say, this morning, just reconnect with, loved ones, or reconnect with 5 people that mean a lot to you, and just let them know you care. So just small little things that will kind of prompt you, the app will prompt you to do small little things every single day, as well as give you tips and little guides around business and getting the balance right in your life. So the app and the water and my humanitarian work is really what I'm going to be focusing on moving forward. Those things are in the pipeline. I got another book which I started writing, which probably won't finish. Yeah, no, I know the title. I looked at you, if I should say the title. So yeah, I got another book. I've started writing it, but I haven't completed it, and that's called How I Became King. So that How I Became King will, How I Became King is going to be a book about how actually I became king. So you're going to recognize that we all wear crowns. So, you know, this will be my crown, a baseball cap might be your crown, might be your crown. And recognizing that I became king because I had other kings helping me to fix my crown. And so we're all men at this point, at some point we'll be able to write how they became king. So that's that book. So I've already started that book, but I just need to be probably somewhere else to be inspired to continue writing. But How I Became King will definitely come out, and you know, I would have been this very whole thing, and the fact that I have 3 books prior to this is a fine example of how I became king, because I had other kings helping me to become king. And yeah, anybody else got any questions? You can ask anything. You can ask about the books. You can ask anything you like. Do you feel free? Any questions with the audience?
I have one more actually. It's more
Easy.
of a reminder. Yeah, it's just a reminder to just let people know that you're on tour and that you'll be going around. And if people have missed the opportunity, that there's more opportunities.
Oh yeah, thanks for that, Laura. You're better assistant than the actual assistant I have here with me today. Somebody else gonna lose their job. So yeah, so listen, there's a truth tour. All my details are on the Insta. It's on my Facebook as well. You see it, the bright yellow poster. I'll be at a number of places. I'm on BBC WM and Nikki Tapper. I'm on Sky TV with Annette B. There's like so many different dates. There's like so many different dates. So let me see, where am I? So yeah, I can just skip through. I'm on Monday, the 3rd of January, I'm on Luton Urban Radio. Then I'm looking forward to the Financial Style Show, which is Making Money Make Sense, which is hosted by Musha Stevenson. I'm looking forward to that. That will be on Saturday, the 8th of January. So like, there's just so many there. Little Richie Show. I'm on there's so many hyper. I'm on Hype TV. That should be fun. Looking forward to that. I'm on the Big Bad Captain Show, Skyline Radio. Remember Captain and Country? Veterans and all. Like I remember as a youth listening to Captain and Country. Yeah. So I remember listening to Captain and Country do that. So I'm honored now, you know, like, yo, I'm on the man them show that. So I'm on their show. I'm not sure what day. I'm not sure what day that is, but if you jump on my internet, on my socials, you'll see all that. So my socials are very much my Instagram, Sir_Terence_Wallen. My Facebook is Sir Terence Wallen, but I'm not hard to find. And y'all can Google me as well. Terence has got 1 R in it, by the way, it's TRENCE. So yeah, it's quite a few. Oh, I gotta mention Shades of Reality with Shadia O'Connor. I'm on Shades of Reality. I'm looking forward to that. That's gonna be big. Now that's gonna be so uncensored because I love Shadia O'Connor's style is raw. It's everything, man. So I'm on the Shades of Reality show, season 2, and that's on the 4th of March. So I've got dates like for this truth tour. It's called Spilling the Truth, all the way up until 11th of March. And we've got new dates added. I'm on the Mass Appeal as well with Mark Ryder. And that's a good podcast. Everyone knows about that one. So there's so many dates, and there'll be dates added as they go along. So just stay tuned to the socials, innit? And we'll just keep updating them as we go along. Anything else? Anybody else? Any other questions? Wait a second.
Who inspires you?
Who inspires me? So I got loads of inspiration, like from Bone to Killer. You think it's a joke? Real talk. Listen, Bone to Killer the warlord. And it's not because he's a warlord, but because he's a fighter for the people. He's a people's champion, and he's never given up. He's never sold his soul. He's never changed his ways. He's hardcore. He's for the people, the love of the people. So Bantu Killer is a big inspiration for me. Everyone knows Gregory Isaacs is a massive inspiration for me. Just to know that love conquers everything. So, and that's the message I always get from being inspired by Gregory Isaacs. They're cool, and may his soul rest in peace. Other inspirations have been my mom, inspired. My mom inspires me. My children are all inspirations for me. My daughter Shalik has always been a massive inspiration, having gone through cancer herself. So she's been an inspiration about never giving up, keep fighting. Just like, don't ever give up hope. You know what I mean? Like, don't ever give up hope. I have loads of people that inspire me, you know, honestly. Like some of like if you think about it, even my grandson, he inspires me to get up and drop into nursery. And like, you know, that's an inspiration. Like, it inspires me to get up and know that I have a whole new, because my son Caden's 10, so having a grandson now is like a whole new, you know what I mean, a whole new lease of life, a whole new way forward. It just gives me a whole new set of goals as well. You know what I mean? You know, I'm not just Terry the father, I'm now the granddad, you know what I mean? And it inspired me also to try and stay healthy as well, because as he gets older, I get older. So chasing him around the park is going to get slightly more difficult. So inspired me to stay healthy, you know, so I can run around the park with him and be a good granddad, you know what I mean, and lead by example, hopefully.
Next question. Which book was your favorite, and which one was the hardest to write?
I think my favorite, okay. It's nice when you got 3 books to choose from, isn't it? No, it's really shit if I only had one. You know what? Each book, like, I don't have a favorite book. I don't really have a favorite book, not favorite. But what I would say is, because each book carries its own weight in it. So I'm saying my autobiography was probably the hardest, because I think it made me express myself in a deeper sense, which I hadn't done publicly before. So it was hard to come out of that comfort zone thinking like, shit, I'm just going to tell all. You know what I mean? I'm just going to tell all. Sorry about that. I'm just going to tell all. See, I told you I need direction. I'm going to tell all. So that was the autobiography was kind of hard. Yeah, because it really touched nerves, and it kind of forced me to speak about stuff that I probably wouldn't have spoken about at that time, and certainly wouldn't have put them into print for the world to see and know. I mean, it's difficult having conversations with individuals that you know. But when you decide to put it out there, you're open to scrutiny. You know, I'm open to a whole new world of questioning, and so on and so on and so on. So I say the hardest was probably my autobiography, Now I'm Famous. I enjoyed doing 365 Days of Truth because it was part of my spiritual journey. I really enjoyed that. And that was just good because it was part of also therapeutic for me, big therapy. Continue to go on and go on and go on. It's not dead, you know, it just goes on thing. Don't know why. No charge. So this was a big one for me, to be fair. Because, you know, as well, because it was that time of my life. I mean, the whole stead thing, and it was that time of my life, and I needed to constantly put stuff out. And then obviously this last planner now, which is really enjoyable because this is probably the planner is probably because it's the more combined. It's probably more combined. My autobiography is very much me in it, speaking about me and myself. The 365 Days kind of opens it up for people to read and be motivated over there, whereas a planner is bringing people in because it's a truth planner. It's just kind of changing people's mindsets and changing people's thinking and changing people's patterns. So you're also challenging, and you're challenging people's norms now with this one. So this is kind of special to me. Yeah. So, you know, to answer the question, I don't have a favorite. They're all just as good as each other. Get them all. Get the trilogy. They're all available at Amazon, Waterstones, Barnes and Nobles, iBooks. Google Play. Yeah, Google Play. And yeah, Google Play Store. And they're everywhere They're everywhere, so you just grab them. But yeah.
So Now I'm Famous.
Yeah.
If that was to be turned into a film,
Boy.
who would you want to play you when you were younger?
When I was younger?
Yeah. Which actor? I'm guessing that's.
Who's got probably a young Denzel. Probably a young Denzel Washington. And I say that because stop looking at it. I say Denzel Washington because one of my favorite actors, but he seems to be an actor of substance. He doesn't just seem to be acting like he actually embraces everyone. I feel like him as an actor would actually embrace what I'm about. I think it'll feel me and it will show as an actor. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be a fluffy actor.
His son's in the game, man.
Denzel acting. Okay, so
you've seen him as well.
Denzel Washington. Okay, no son was actor. So yeah, probably a young Denzel Washington could play me. I believe so. Anybody else got any questions? No, I mean, this is good though. This is good. So the book's out, people. The book is out. All 3 books are available, but the planner is out. Feel free to hit me up on my DMs. Can everyone just follow me on Instagram, please? My Instagram is I've always put up daily quotes and daily affirmations and positive stuff. You know, I don't put rubbish on my Instagram. So if you're looking for an Instagram to follow, where you're going to be seeing rubbish, it's just I'm probably not the one to follow. But if you're looking to be part of the change, part of the movement, then follow me on Insta. You can find all my socials. Them do they. Why should I? Can you find that tune, Cindy? And okay. You got one? I'll give it to her. I got a tune that I like, that I want when I'm ready to leave the sets. My tune I play. What what did my oh, sorry. So yeah, listen, I'm really, really glad that everyone has jumped on the live and was on my Facebook live. And just go out and grab the books. There'll be signed copies. Holler at me if you buy it and you want your copy signed. Holler at me on my Insta. I'll find you, or we'll figure out how you get your signed copy. As I said, it's all part of a massive movement. I want a big shout out to my brethren, Floyd Stewart, as well. Floyd hollered at me yesterday about a great movement that he wants to do. So I'm supporting Floyd. He wants to start looking to do the 20-man movement, you know what I mean? Big movement. So, 20 man looking sharp, walking through town in those suits. Looking forward to that. Yes, dum, 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 dum. So yeah, man. Big shout out to my team as well. Like, you know who you are. Can't do it without you. Couldn't have done it without you. I have no intention of continuing to do it without you. So my team, man, you know my team, and love you guys endlessly. And I'm so grateful, and I so appreciate the time and efforts that everyone puts into me, my foolishness and my down days and my up days. And just forever keeping it real with me. When it's time telling me to get out your houses, I don't mind that, because I know I'm always going to come back a couple of days from then. So yeah, man, it's been good. It's been good. What's the question?
No more questions.
You found a tune?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So I think we could probably, we've gone half an hour over.
There's a phone that can see the way.
Yeah, we can bring it to an end. So listen, I'm just gonna play a tune out. Thank everyone once again. Thanks. If there's no more questions, thank you for tuning in. Get on my socials. Let's keep the truth movement, keep it going. Nothing but love each other, stand firm. Remember, only love can conquer war. And let's keep it real moving forward. Yeah.